Hello YouTube, Ruth Basque here again with another video. Excuse the way I look, but I've just been kind of flopping around the house today, or slumming around the house. So I got a package today, another one from eBay. I've already cut it open, and I'm going to open this package and we're going to see what's in it. And I hope it's what I think it is, because I've been wanting to do a video on this guy for a while. So here we go. Yeah, it is. Yay! So here's my, yep, that's my paperwork on my order. So here it is. The Lovecraft Tarot. Now, somebody else did a video not too long ago on this tarot and wasn't really happy with it, but I'm under the belief if you're going to do a video on Lovecraft, you need to know a little bit about Lovecraft. So I'm going to go ahead and open this tarot up, and then we're going to discuss a little bit about Lovecraft. I'm not an expert on Lovecraft, but I do love Lovecraft. I love a lot of his stories. We probably won't go through the whole deck, but we'll take a look at some of the cards, and then at a later date I'll go through the whole deck and do another video and upload another video on the deck itself. So here's the little book that comes with it, which is always good when you get a new tarot coming in. It's a good idea that you make sure they have the book that goes with it, because sometimes their meanings may be different from the regular red or white, tarots of the classic times. I know the tarot I'm working on, the meanings aren't going to be the same as your standard tarot. So let's pop this out of here. Oh wow, the sides are covered in silver. I love that. That's pretty cool. Gives it such a lunar feel. The moon. Okay, so this is the back of the tarot, which isn't showing up very well on my camera. And that is Cthulhu right there. So here is the Ace of Pentacles, which that star right there is from the Necronomicon. Now, Lovecraft had a series of books that dealt around the Necronomicon and the old ones. And Cthulhu is actually part of that. The whole Necronomicon, Cthulhu, the ancient ones, which I have the Cthulhu myths right here. This is a really nice book right here, and it's really, really good. I've been reading this thing like crazy. I like the binding on it. And then, of course, I got this book by him, too, because, like I said, I really love Lovecraft. Lovecraft is, like, before his time. I mean, he was a man before his time. So, anyway, so that was the Ace of Pentacles, Two of Coins. You know, so this is what some of the art looks like for this tarot. And actually, I think it's fitting, considering what and who Lovecraft was. There's several stories about Lovecraft. He wasn't really well known in the time when he started writing his stories, but he got really well known afterwards. So so let's start with, now the Necronomicon. This is actually a spell book, but it was inspired by the Lovecraft and the Necronomicon stories that he did, which dealt with the old ones, and that was basically based around the ancient ones and Babylonian beliefs. And so, you know, let me see. I'm going to make sure I'm not going to make any mistakes on this, because I don't want to botch what little knowledge I do have him really bad. So Howard Phillips Lovecraft was his name, and he wrote many science fiction books. His Cthulhu mythos right here was only part of his Necronomicon series, because he was supposed to be one of the old gods. And Cthulhu, as you can see, was quite an unusual old god looking character, like looking like he's half got wings and half lion and half octopus. I mean, seriously, if this came from outer space at me, I think I'd have a fatal heart attack. So, the Necronomicon that the person wrote this on was supposed to be a fantasy-like thing built on it, but when you study what's in this, you do realize it's not really fantasy. It's all Babylonian. The opening of the stargates is given on in this book. I would not suggest this being a book for someone who's just beginning the craft, especially if you want to open gates and commune with higher spirits or lower spirits, because it's pretty in-depth, and if you don't know what you're doing, you can get hurt really, really bad. I used to have the original copy of this when it first came out back in 78, 79, somewhere around there. It was a hardback, and yes, I was like 21 and stupid, and I did kind of delve into it, and I learned my lesson really quick. Fortunately, I was able to correct my mistake before too much damage was done. So when I saw the tarot, I knew I had to get it, and I knew that the artwork was going to be really dark, because that's what he's all about. He's a, dark and mean. And people say, well, how does this fit in with this deck? Or how does this fit in with these guys? It don't. It's totally separate. It's a whole series of its own. It has its own meanings, its own purpose. It's going to be fun working with this deck. And, I mean, I just, really am surprised at the artwork on this. I mean, it's like, wow. Some of this, people are going to say it's not going to make any sense, but yeah, it probably will when I read the book. See if we can find something else that looks really cool. I like the King of Cups. I'm not trying to copy somebody else who did it. I'm just, okay, the Magician. See, he is a high priest, obviously a high priest of the cult of Cthulhu, as you could tell by the octopus things in the background, and it's the Magician. And they would have been considered magicians, but they were the priests of the Cthulhu occult. And then you have the High Priestess. She obviously is also a High Priestess of the Cthulhu occult. You have to really read the book to understand a lot of what I'm meaning here. And some of you who are H.P. Lovecraft fans probably already know what I'm talking about. And so if you love Lovecraft and you want to continue your collection a little bit, the tarot deck, I think, fits in. Now, they did a TV series a while back on, I think it was HBO, that was called Lovecraft County. And actually, that didn't have anything to do with any of the stories that Lovecraft did. It was a series based on a book that was composed of a bunch of short stories by different authors who were Lovecraft fans, and some of it, of Lovecraft, was pulled into it. For instance, when they talk about the old ones or the old gods, that's Lovecraft. But the stories that were followed through these people as they were teleported through time, and the situation was other people's story done in a Lovecraft manner. And it was a good series, and I'm waiting for season 2. So, the Lovers, that's kind of a mystery right there, but that's interesting, I think. So, yeah, and then we have, let's mess with Cthulhu, why don't we?